Today, I'm doing some carnivore meal prepping. So this is one of the things that I like to make if I ever have a busy week or just all the time because I think it's delicious and super easy to do. I have a kilo of bacon, I have a whole bunch of ground beef. I'll probably only use about half of this, so that'll be about 2 kilos of ground beef, and then 30 eggs. And so we just make a big conglomeration. We call it the goulash. So it's super easy, pretty cheap, and can get you a lot of meals, and it doesn't take that long. I'm gonna try and get it done in under an hour. It's just striking 1 o'clock right now. So I'm gonna go into time-lapse mode and show you how everything gets done. To start, I usually cut up the bacon, so I want to cut it into kind of little strips. I just took this out of the freezer. It was in there for about half an hour, maybe close to 45 minutes. Having it be a little bit frozen just makes it maintain its shape, so it's easier to cut when you need it to. So I'll take it out, and then I'm going to cut the ground beef in half, and we'll get half of that going for this as well. You don't need to be super precise with the cutting. It doesn't need to be in 1-inch thick pieces or anything. I just like smaller the better, there's more surface area and it'll cook a little bit faster. So if you want to cut them smaller, it'll cook faster, but it depends on how much time you want to spend, and I try to make it be as easy as possible. Okay, that's all done. This is my leftover that I'll just package up and throw in the fridge. About a kilo of bacon, about 2 kilos of ground beef, and we're just going to put it in a big wok on the stove. So I'm just going to transfer things over there, and we'll come back and do the eggs once this is going. I use about a medium heat in as big of a wok as I can get. This is the amount that will fit. Probably no more than this, so make sure you're not using too much meat compared to the size of your wok or pan. And obviously add a bit of oil. I use the tallow that I made, so that's if you check out my last video, you'll see that. And then add that. Once that's a liquid, we put the bacon and the ground beef in. Okay, we're all liquid here. So I'm just gonna dump this in. Start with the ground beef because it's heaviest. And then I will chop that up just so it spreads out a bit, and then I'll put the bacon in. And you have this massive wok and pan of just bacon and ground beef. And so we'll just let this sit for a while, stirring occasionally. And this will take close to half an hour, I'd say, to get to a point where I'm ready to put the eggs in and it'll be fully cooked. So we're gonna put the lid on and we'll go through what you do with the eggs. Okay, now with the eggs, we're gonna take all 30 or however much room you have on your pan, and you're just gonna crack them into a bowl. Now that that's all done, make sure you go and stir your bacon and ground beef because this takes a little bit and you don't want anything to burn. And you just try and whisk away all the yolks so it's just all combined together. The better you do here, the less you have to do in the wok, which gets a bit hard if it's full, which I think it's going to be pretty full today, but it'll be fine. Okay, this is all the eggs are beaten, and it looks pretty good. I will eventually add some chili powder and salt to it. I won't do that until pretty quickly before I put it in, otherwise the salt and the chili powder will just fall to the bottom and then you get chunks, and some spots that get a bit chunky or salty. So I like to make sure it is spread out evenly, so that'll be closer to the end. So just for now, we're about 15 minutes in. I'm just gonna keep stirring the bacon, the ground beef until that's cooked. And I will also add some salt and salt and chili powder to that to really add the flavor and add a little bit of spice to it that I like. I think I'm about ready to add the spice here, so I'm just gonna stir it one more time, and then I'll add the chili powder and the salt. I'm pretty liberal about the amount of salt and chili powder I put on. Just adds to the flavor and can't go wrong with more salt. So yeah, you can see it's not quite fully cooked yet, but getting close. So this seems like a good time to really let it, give it some time to soak in the flavor as it's cooking. So yeah, I pour quite a bit. We'll see. Maybe this isn't a lot for some people, but definitely give a good layer on the whole top. That's usually about right for me. And then I'll put some in the eggs as well, so it's not such a big deal. And then we'll do a couple of these too. And this is Redmond's real salt. Quite like the flavor of this, and some pretty natural salt too. So there you have that. And then we just mix it up, and we'll wait a little bit more until this is fully cooked. And then we'll add the chili powder and the salt to the eggs and pour it in. We're about half an hour in now, and we're getting pretty close to being ready for the eggs. So I'm gonna add a similar liberal amount of chili powder into the eggs. And then same thing with the salt. And then mix it all up so it's trying to be equally spread out everywhere. Okay, I think we're just about ready here. Stir this up a little bit. Oh yeah, looks pretty good. Looks like the chili powder's soaking in nicely. I'm gonna turn down temperature just a little bit, so now it's kind of on a low, closer to a low. And you can let this sit for however long you want. I'm 35 minutes in at this moment, so I'm pretty good with that. Usually this amount of eggs will take 20 minutes, so it should be right at the hour mark when I finish up. So that's that. I'm gonna grab the eggs and just pour them in. And then same deal, just mix it around. Now that we're closer to the rim of the wok, I gotta be a bit careful. And especially because it's liquid, it'll create quite a mess. And then the dogs will have to clean it up, which they will love, but I don't want that. So same deal here. Now that the eggs are in, it's a little bit more important that you stir it more frequently because it will stick to the pan and burn. So one reason why I dropped the temperature, but yeah, I'll just come in, now scrape it off the bottom and let it firm up and into a nice big scramble. Okay, it's starting to firm up a little bit. You can see it gaining a little bit of shape and having a few of these chunks. So yep, things are looking good, we're on pace. Temperature's good. Just gotta wait a little bit longer, keep stirring it, and it'll be done shortly. While I'm doing this, I'm also making some jerky, so I'm not just sitting around waiting. If you want to see how I make jerky, I will link that video down below. As you can see, it's all over there. Got the rest of the ground beef is going to be used right away here. So yeah, just keep waiting, keep stirring, and eventually this will be done. All right, we're pretty much done here. Pretty much at the level that I want it to be. Probably gonna wait a few more minutes just because I can. And just firm up the eggs just a little bit more because that's how I like it. If you like your eggs to be a little bit softer, this is probably fine, but yeah, I'm gonna go another few minutes. What time we got? 1:53, 1:52. So just under an hour at this moment. So yeah, I can make it be exactly an hour if I would like. And then you can let this sit for a while. Once it's done, I like to put it into glass containers and then an approximate meal's worth of food. For me, that's maybe a little bit more than some people. My wife eats half as much, so I have like a big rectangle one and a big circle one. We'll fill those up, and then we'll have kind of the little square ones, and those will be kind of for me, or she can take it to work. But this should get about 7 or 8 meals for us, which is pretty good. There you have it. I'd say that's about done. I'm gonna turn it off and let it cool. Give it one final stir. But that is the consistency that I like. And I think we're clocking in at, what time is it? 56, just under an hour. So yeah, I think this is a super easy meal prep that you can do. 3 ingredients, 1 pan. Doesn't get much more convenient than this. It microwaves really well. You can eat it hot, you could eat it cold if you really want to. very high fat and just a lot of food. So if you're someone like me that needs to eat a lot, this is a fantastic way to do that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.